Hey y'all, welcome to Humming Catfish. Today we're going to be making chestnut flour. So grab you a basket, go find a chestnut tree, and let's go. It used to be that the American chestnut is what dominated the eastern forests. 1 in 4 of the hardwood trees was the American chestnut. A blight in the early half of the 1900s wiped out 99% of them. What we have growing here on our little farm is the Chinese chestnut. The chestnut's pretty amazing. It's a nutrient-dense food. It's naturally gluten-free, it's low in fat, and has those good complex carbohydrates. And the chestnut is the only nut that has vitamin C. The chestnuts are really easy to gather. The downside is that they have these really sharp and spiky burrs, and they hurt. But the spiky burrs are also a way that you know you have a chestnut and not a horse chestnut, which do not have all these spines on them. It's more of a smooth kind of husk with maybe some protrusions here and there. You want to make sure that you have a real chestnut. Sometimes the chestnuts fall out of their burrs and right onto the ground. But sometimes the chestnut stays in the burr. And an easy way to get them out is put your shoes like that and kind of pry them apart, and then they come out. I would definitely recommend either using gloves today or a pincher grabber like I got. Let's get to picking. We got a nice basket full of chestnuts, so let's get back to the kitchen. I'm gonna get these rinsed off, sorted through, and ready to roast. Before we get these in the oven and roast them, we definitely want to make sure that we cut the skins, otherwise they can pop and explode. There's a couple different ways to go about this. I think they come out the very best is to take a pair of scissors, and you're going to start at the top and go down, and then go the other way and go down. And what that does is it gives it a nice cut all the way across, and I think they come out the easiest whole this way. So I'm going to get some of these done up and onto a pan. We're gonna roast these in the oven at 400 for 25 minutes. What this does is it allows the shells to come off a lot easier. And also it starts to break down some of the starch, which causes this like caramelization of it, and it just really makes the flavor come out. The timer has finished, and I'm gonna leave the other pan in the oven right now, and I'm going to put these into a container, dropping as many as I can, and I'm going to cover this. That way the humidity stays in there, they stay warm, and it's so much easier to peel them when that happens. All right, let's get to shelling. So I'm just gonna take out just a few at a time. Please be careful because these are hot. So you can see the shells are just kind of coming off real easy. It really smells good in here. I think I could eat some of these right now, but I'm gonna wait. What we're gonna be doing now is getting these into a blender and getting them kind of chopped up. A little more than chopped, but not a puree. Because what we'll be doing after that is dehydrating them. And after these things are dehydrated, they are rock hard. And I've done it before where I'll just cut them into, you know, bigger chunks and put it in the blender, and it'll ruin a blender real quick. So I started doing this where I get it really finely chopped down and then dehydrate. So let's get it in the blender. Very nice. I'm just gonna kind of spread this out a little bit. So I'm gonna dehydrate these at 125 for 24 to 36 hours. I will be taking these out and stirring them around every couple hours, just in case there's any moisture in there, because I did put these on a little bit thick. Then that'll be able to go ahead and dehydrate out. If you don't have a dehydrator, I would do your oven at the very lowest temperature it can go, and then leave the door cracked. I'll see y'all back here. Hello from the same day. It's not 24 or 36 hours later. I actually did this batch the other day. I'll show you how this looks before we grind it up into an even finer grain. They have been drying for, this was close to 30 hours, and they are rock hard and bone dry. So now we're gonna get them ground down into a finer consistency, and for that, I'm going to use a coffee bean grinder. If you have one of those at-home electric mills, this is going to be so much easier for y'all. But they are expensive, it's not in my budget, and I know it's probably not in a lot of people's budgets. So a coffee bean grinder works really good. Just work in small batches so that you don't overwhelm the little motor in there. But we're going to grind and then sift, and then grind and sift and grind and sift. Look at all that beautiful chestnut flour. Now, as far as using this flour in your cooking, you might want to experiment around and see what you think. Breads, flatbreads, stuff like that. I think a 30% of the chestnut flour to 70% of a wheat flour really makes a nice bread that's got a good hearty flavor, but is still, you know, kind of chewy and soft. If you're using it in cakes, pancakes, stuff like that, you can go up a lot higher of a percentage rate. I like it more around a 50-50 in things like pancakes and cakes, as I said, brownies. I'm gonna do 3 different flatbread recipes to show you the difference. The one that I think is the very best is the one that I will demonstrate, and that is a 30% chestnut flour. The other one is a 50-50, and the other one is all wheat flour, so you can kind of see a baseline. Have all 3 here for comparison. This one right here is 100% wheat flour. So you can see it's very pliable, bendy. You could roll it up, you know, do it into a sandwich. This one right here is the 50-50. 50% chestnut and 50% wheat. You can see it's gonna crack when you bend it. This right here, I think would go really good with the soup. In the flavor, it's just a wonderful rustic flavor, really hearty. And then this is the 30-70, 30% chestnut, 70% wheat. You can still bend it. You can bend it without it cracking like that. And the flavor, it's not as chestnutty as the 50-50 one, but it definitely has a more kind of robust flavor than the all flour one. But you can still use it kind of like you use the flour one. I'll put a link to the recipes for each one of these in the description. Now, the shelf life for your chestnut flour, put it in an airtight container out in your pantry, on your counter, in your cabinet. It's going to be about 1 month. About 2 to 3 months in your refrigerator and 6 months in the freezer. But I don't think you'll have any left at 6 months. I never do. Well, that's all I got for y'all this week. I really appreciate you watching this video. And if you like what I'm doing, I sure would appreciate if you hit the like button. And if you really like what I'm doing, I'd appreciate if you considered subscribing to the channel. So until next time, I'll see y'all later.